Shalom, Israel. To all the brothers, to all the sisters, to all black, Hispanics, and Native Indian, I'm Officer 500 Aria. I say shalom to all the brothers. Shalom, Yahweh Bashim Yahshabatam. To all the sisters, shalom, Yahweh Shamaratam Bashim Yahushai. And like I said, I'm Officer 500 Aria with the ISPK Israel School of Universal Practical Knowledge. Started at 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York. Under Commanding General Yahana. Understand? And we teach the truth about the Bible. We teach the truth to black, Hispanics, and Native Indian. We teach them that they are the chosen people of God. They are the 12 tribes of Israel. They are the people in this book. You understand? This Bible belongs to the black, Hispanics, and Native Indian. This Bible doesn't belong in the Christian church. This Bible doesn't belong to the Chinese. It doesn't belong to the Japanese. It doesn't belong to the white man. But it belongs to the 12 tribe of Israel. Hey, shalom, where's Yahweh Shem Yahshua Barakam? What's going on? What's going on, the Trooper Squad? All right, the brothers are the mic muted. You understand? Brothers in Toronto now, I mean, stepping up strong. Understand? Give me a second, Salakia.
Shalom, Yahweh Shem Yahshua.
Hey, shalom, Yahweh Shem Yahshua Barakam. All right. So Salakia, also the Rush. Can you post the link, Baba Kwasha?
Khan.
We're signing link, Salakia. All right, so like I was saying, we are the 12 tribe of Israel. You understand? We teach the truth about the Bible. We teach that those people that are being killed in the street, those people in the reservation today, those people that you see that are going through misery, oppression, are the chosen people of God. And you know what? God's gonna destroy Canada for their sake. God's gonna send plagues. We're living in the second lockdown. You understand? In this year. Second lockdown, man. God is moving Canada. And you know why? Because God is angry with Canada. God is angry with the United States because they have took the chosen people of God. They took the chosen people of God and make mockery of them, oppress them, rape them, kill them, and don't give a damn about them. Well, God's gonna bring vengeance because of these people, man. And is it something that we could find in the Bible? Yes. God plagues nation of people, you understand, because of his people. Let's go to Genesis chapter 12, verse 17. We're going to see something. Bring me to Shalom, sister Yahweh Shema Tabashim Yashai. Bring me to Genesis chapter 12, verse 17. We're going to see what God did. You understand? God is not a man that you should play with. God is an entity that you should respect, that you should fear, man. Understand? But like the Christian church, they don't fear God. Understand? Like our people don't fear God. And this is why we're still in these churches. This is why we're still sinning. Because we don't fear God. While God killed people for sinning, man. And the oppression, the plagues, the pestilence that God is bringing on these things should make us realize something. To make us want to change our life. To make us want to start doing what God wants us to do. Understand? Who has the verse?
Go ahead.
Louder. Use that man.
This is the book of Genesis, chapter 12 and verse 17. And the Lord plagued Pharaoh and his house with great plagues.
The Lord did what?
Plagued Pharaoh.
Now we're in Genesis 12, right? That's way before we were in Egypt, right? You understand? This is way before we were in Egypt. Like God plagued Pharaoh, man. God plagued the ruler, those Ammites in his house. Why? Go ahead.
And his house with great plagues. Because of Sarah, Abram's wife.
Because of who?
Sarah, Abram's wife.
Because of Sarah, Abraham's wife, God plagued Pharaoh in his house, man. You should not play with God's people, man. You understand? And if the Christian church knew exactly, had knowledge of God, they would never play with black, Hispanics, and Native Indian, because they should know that God's gonna plague this empire, this nation, for touching our people, for telling our people to do evil. You understand? God doesn't play for, you understand, when it comes to his people, man. You understand? When God is angry, he brings wrath. He bring plagues. He bring death. You understand? He brings destruction, man. You understand, Canada? But they tell us, you understand, just pray. So we won't fall victim of those plagues. What about obeying the Most High? So he could rescue us from those plagues. You understand? And that's why we need, you understand, Black, Spanish, and Native Indian. You need to change your life. God bring plagues for touching his nation. Bring me to Psalm 78:50. Super support. You have a question? Understand? And officers, if y'all want to judge, I mean, put in, I mean, don't mind, just put in. You understand? Whenever y'all want to say something.
Slakia, sir. Psalms what again? Sorry.
78 verse 50. And somebody bring me the definition of plague, pestilence and plague. And Officer Badger, can you read from the article that you shared about the lockdown in Toronto? Babu question.
Khan, not one Khan.
I have the verse when you're ready, sir.
Go ahead. Later.
Book of Psalms 78 verse 50. Made a way to his anger. He spared not his soul from death. But gave their life over to the pestilence.
Salakia, you was cutting up again. All right, Chupa, you're right. Shalom, brother. Yahba Shemi Shabbat. Salakia, there's echoing.
Okay.
Salakia.
Shalom. Yahba Shemi Shabbat. Thumb.
I pass the class to Officer Aban. Shalom, Officer Aban. Yahba Shemi Shabbat.
Yahba Shemi Shabbat. Thumb. What's going on, Akim?
Shalom.
Thanks to wife, sir.
All right. Here's somebody's background here in reverb.
Thanks to wife, sir.
All right. Can everybody hear me? Okay, that's better. All right. So, questions? We're live on Facebook and YouTube, correct?
Concert.
No.
Oh, no.
No, we're not. Okay, so like I said, I just updated it. Facebook wasn't live, but it is now.
All right, the water. We're live on Facebook, YouTube, Shalom. Make sure you like and share the video. ICBK Canada. We're going to touch on a lot of topics: COVID, voting, and the ridiculousness of this world right now. Okay, many so-called Black people and Latinos and First Nations in Canada are happy and perplexed that Joe Biden won the election. Joe Biden isn't going to do a damn thing for Negroes, Latinos, and Natives. Furthermore, you're all going to jail. Okay, I put all the money. Call the bailiff right now. I call a bail bondsman. I get as many bail bonds as I could, because Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans are going to go into jail like French fries into a deep fryer. Okay, it's going to be a joke, and there's going to be nothing we can say about it because it's under a so-called Democratic president. Okay, Joe Biden and Donald Trump are both oppressors. The Republicans and Democrats are not going to help us. Okay, not going to help us. Their jobs to put us in cages, so lock us up. All right, and oppress us. All right. Any questions online? Any questions in the room? I can't see the chat. Hold on. I can see it now. Hold on. Okay. Yeah, I can see the chat. But if any questions come up, just let me know. If any questions in here in the chat.
Salakia, sir. I have a question. It's pertaining to the breakdown of like people being on the earth with Adam and Eve.
Mhm.
And, I must have saw it somewhere that Adam and Eve weren't necessarily the first people on the earth. I'm guessing. I don't really understand.
Mhm.
We'll break down on that one.
Okay.
It's
Go ahead. What scripture was it?
it was Genesis 1:26 when it says, "Let us make man in our image, after our likeness." Right, but then it goes down then to mention Adam later on, I believe.
Get where it mentions Adam. It's Genesis 2 and hold on. First mentions Adam. One second. You can go to verse 7, I guess. That's your question. It doesn't mention his name till later on, but we understand this man in Genesis 2nd chapter is talking about Adam. The first thing you want to go to, you first want to go to Genesis chapter 2 and verse 1, all right?
Right. I'm here.
Go ahead and read it.
Thus the heavens and the earth were finished, and all the host of them.
So at Genesis, the 2nd chapter, in the first verse, all the host was finished. All the company, the armies, the land creatures, sea creatures, man, people were already made. Read on.
And on the seventh day, God ended his work which he had made, and he rested on the seventh day from all his work which he had made.
He rested on the seventh day from all the work which he made. So this man, Adam, was he physically made? Or is this are we talking about something else? Trooper.
I believe it's talking about something else, but Slakia, sir.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, saying everything was made. So like physically and
yeah, everything was already made. The Lord rested. He's not making anything after this point. This is the seventh day. All creation was performed in 6 days period of about a day to the Most High as 1,000 years to us. So it was a long period of time. Let's put it that way. Okay, separated into blocks of days or blocks of time, right? And after the 6th block of time of the 6th day, he finished all of his work. So Adam is not literally being made here. Adam was already around on the earth. Okay, how do you know that? Because in Genesis chapter 1 verse 26 is where mankind was made, man and woman. Their command was to be fruitful and multiply. Okay, so after Genesis, the first chapter, is already man here on the earth. After Genesis 2 and 1, all creation is completed. Now the earth's operating in its normal function. The universe, the stars, etc., operating in their normal function. All right, so let's go to Adam now. Genesis chapter 2 verse 7.
Genesis chapter 2 verse 7. And the Lord God formed man of the dust of the ground and breathed into his nostrils the breath of life, and man became a living soul.
Okay, somebody else get me sit down in the dust, virgin daughter of Babylon. Was that Isaiah 47 or so? Someone get me sit in the dust, sit down in the dust, virgin daughter of Babylon. All right, we're reading Genesis chapter 2 verse 7, and it says, and the Lord God formed man out of the dust of the ground and breathed into his nostrils the breath of life. All right, when it says he took him out of the dust of the ground, what does that mean, Trooper?
So like you said, I believe it means he'd be like, man was I don't want to say just like dirty, but man was Salakia, man was like maybe in a low state. I don't know, or man just
That's it. No, you do know. That's exactly it. He was in a low state. That's a perfect answer. You couldn't have given a better answer. That's just what I was going to say. Adam was in a low state. When it says there wasn't a man, verse 6 it says there wasn't a man, or verse 5 it says there was not a man till the ground. At this time, everyone was operating like Neanderthals. You get my point? Which means, how did you get a wife? You hit her over the head with a club, and you pulled her, dragged her into a cave, and raped her, and you had kids with her. They were eating whatever they could, whatever wasn't as fast as they were. You get my point? Just look at Neanderthals. That's how people were living. Remember, this is Genesis. This is Adam. So this is way back in the day. Okay, this is right after creation. Okay, so when it means there wasn't a man to till the ground, nobody had the life or the knowledge, the ability to understand anything other than something that gave them an orgasm or something that puts something into their stomach, which is what primordial man. When you look up primordial man, that's what they were about, fulfilling their basic animal instincts or animal urges is what people call it, scientists call it. All right, but Adam, he was brought up from that state, that low state of just groveling and running around and having sex whenever he was in heat. You get my point of doing whatever he was doing on the earth. He brought him out of that state, and he breathed into his nostrils the breath of life. What is the breath of life, Trooper?
Would that be the law, sir?
That would be the law, precept. Does anyone know? What's the precept to prove that the law is the breath of life?
Concert. You can use second Ezra.
Concert.
Hold on 1 second. Daraj, go ahead first.
Salaki, sir. You can use second Ezra chapter 3 verse 5. Come.
Officer Adia, what were you gonna get?
Second
Concert. It was Baruch chapter 4 verse 1, sir.
Yeah, Brew 4 and 1 was what I was thinking of too. Read out second Ezra 3 and 5, Daraj.
Concert. This is second Ezra chapter 3 verse 5. It's actually to verse 5 to 7. It says, "And gave us a body unto Adam without soul, which was the workmanship of thine hands, and didst breathe into him the breath of life, and he was made living before thee. And thou leddest him into paradise, which with thy right hand had planted before ever earth came forward. And unto him thou gavest commandment to love thy way, which he transgressed."
That's a good precept. Yeah, that's a good precept. You can use that on the what specifically happened to Adam. Yeah, you can use that. I will go to Brew 4 and 1 first, though, for the breath of life or for life. All right, read Brew 4 and 1. Officer Adiar.
Khan. This is Baruch chapter 4 verse 1. This is the book of the commandments of God, and the law that endureth forever.
And the law that endureth forever.
And the law. Khan. All they that keep it shall come to life.
They'll do what?
All they that keep it shall come to life. They shall come to life.
They shall come to life. You see, Trooper? The breath of life, or the thing that the Most High breathed into Adam's nostrils, which gave him life, was the law. That's what gives us life. Without the law, we're just a bunch of damn Neanderthals. A woman, she's in heat. She has sex like a dog with whoever. It's a man that tells her she looks good. A man, he wants to have sex. He'll go and have sex for anything. In Canada, he'll go to a damn brothel up there on St. Catherine or whatever, or he'll go to a whorehouse or the trap house or what have you. We'll just find someone and pick her up to have sex with her and throw her away. You get my point? Which is not life. That's not life. Okay? But the Lord gave Adam a better way. He gave him a higher way. All right? You understand that now, Trooper, right? Or no?
Khan, I do.
All right. So go back to Genesis 2 and 7.
Khan, sir. "And the Lord God formed man of the dust of the ground, and breathed into his nostrils the breath of life, and man became a living soul."
man, he became a living soul. You understand that, right? The life he was alive, but he was in the dust. He was in the dirt. Someone read me the sit down, the dust virgin, daughter of Babylon. I asked for that precept a few minutes ago.
Another one, Khan.
Read, trooper.
It's the book of Isaiah, chapter 47 and verse 1. Come down and sit in the dust, O virgin daughter of Babylon.
Come down, sit in the dust, O virgin daughter of Babylon. So to the trooper, it was Babylon around at this point. Was it existing? Was it in existence?
At this point in Isaiah, or
At this point in Isaiah, yes. What you're reading right now.
yes, Khan, sir.
Yes. So what does it mean when Isaiah said to sit down in the dust?
I'm assuming it would mean to go down, because Babylon was a great nation, I guess.
Go down, sit in the dust, meaning go into a low state.
Yeah.
It would be synonymous with go to hell. That's what Isaiah is saying to Babylon. That's what he would say to Canada and America, go to hell. Okay, which is just where they're going. Okay, Canada and America are going to hell, going to a low state, going to the ground. So you're going to see people groveling for food, leftover scraps out of a garbage can in Canada, in Dundas, and in Bathurst, and all across Canada where our oppressors are. All right. So you can use this precept interchangeably with the dust of the ground in Genesis, the 2nd chapter. Adam was already in existence, like Babylon was already in existence. What the Lord did to Adam was the opposite of what he's going to do to Canada and America. He brought Adam from a low state. And why he was able to dwell in paradise, meaning he was able to rule. You understand? He ruled the garden. He set it in order. Okay, that was the point. Adam, that was Adam's job, but he failed, much like how we failed here in Canada, or how we failed in our homeland. All right, so Adam was kicked out. We were kicked out of our homeland, and we're now in Toronto, Montreal, and places where it's not ideal to live. If you want to, I told I told the trooper somebody this the other day. Listen, if you want to die in Canada, it's easy to die. 12-year-old boy was just shot and killed in a damn drive-by.
Right.
If you want to OD on fentanyl, you want to get run over, get crushed by elevator, whatever. Canada's a place to die. If you want to die, Canada's a great place to die. All right, but it's not a great place to live in. No, nowhere. Pork is the other white meat. You understand? Crab, shrimp, and lobster. They just gave the Gadites up there their own seafood, their cut of the seafood industry, as if that's going to help them at all. Okay, the Lord's going to further punish the natives that are involved in clam fishing, crab fishing. Okay, I just broke down the story of Adam, if you will, in a nutshell. Did you need anything else?
Sir.
Go ahead, officer.
Could you so like how Isaiah 47:1 you would use to show what to be made out of dust or to sit in the dust? Show what that means. Could you also use Isaiah 52:1 and verse 2?
Read it.
So Isaiah chapter 52, verse 1 to 2. Awake, awake, the garment, Jerusalem, the holy city. Henceforth there shall no more come unto thee the uncircumcised and the unclean. Verse 2. Shake thyself from the dust, arise and sit down, O Jerusalem. Loose thyself from the hands of thy neck, O captive daughter of Zion.
Yeah, that's fine. Come out to hammer the point home that Adam was in the low state. That's perfect. All right.
Okay.
Anything else? Questions?
Salakia, sir, I had a
Go ahead, Officer Adiar.
Go ahead. I wanted to break down on Jude chapter 1, verse 6, if I may, sir.
Yeah, that's fine. Let me get over there. Yeah, Jude 1 and 6. Hold on one second.
Go on, sir.
1 second. Jude 1 and 6.
Khan. Jude chapter 1, verse 6, and the angels which kept not their first estate, but left their own habitation, he have reserved in everlasting chains unto darkness, unto the judgment of the great day.
Mm-hmm. So, who are the angels that kept not their first estate?
That would be us, sir. Like the children from Adam, sir.
Specifically, though, who?
Uh,
In fact, yeah, you're right. It would be the children of Adam.
the Adamite.
Yeah, it would be the chosen people. Today, it would be the Israelites. You get my point? We are more recently the angels that didn't keep our first estate. What was our first estate? First of all, how are we angels?
Because we're supposed to be messengers of God, sir. We're supposed to be princes of the power.
Yep. Word angel is malak, which is a delegate or a messenger, one sent. Okay, we are the messengers on earth. Okay, if you want to go even further, the scriptures say in Psalm 82, it's also in Psalm 81. There's another scripture in Psalms where gods are mentioned. Okay, we are the rulers and the messengers on this earth. Okay, so the angels that kept not their first estate is talking about us here on earth. What was our first estate, Officer Adi?
To mingle with our people and not to mingle with the other nations.
No. What is an estate?
State. Look it up right now.
Okay.
Salakia, sir, if I may.
Go ahead, brother.
What is it? Like a house or
Yeah, that's what it is. I'll let the trooper, Salakia. I'll let the officer look it up. But yeah, that's essentially what it is. What's the definition, all right?
Council. Estate, an extensive area of land in the country, usually with a large house owned by one person, family, or organization.
You understand? So it'd be like our mansion, our first land. The first land we didn't keep. Excuse me, hold on one second. Yeah, the first land we didn't keep was Israel. You get my point? You can go to the curses where it says, if we go against the Most High, He would scatter us. You know, point. He would scatter us among all people. We're scattered. We're outside of our homeland. You can go to all the scriptures where the Lord said we would be cast out. He cast us out of Israel. Cast us out of Israel. Scattered among the heathen. Scattered among the heathen. You get my point? That's us. We didn't keep our first estate. How do we keep our first estate? We didn't keep our first estate because we didn't keep the law. Okay? Like Jane Finch is not your estate. Okay? You don't own Jane and Finch. You're renting under some Jewish man who's living in $1 million house in Bathurst, $1 million house in Ajax, what have you.
Right.
You're living next to Drake. Okay? Jane and Finch is not your estate. Driftwood, Doomstown is not your estate. Okay? This is the land of our captivity. Okay? We're shackled into these damn I don't know what to call it, cracker board houses, okay, shoved into these match boxes, okay, and forced to pay rent, or you have the place under some public or some government program. It's not our estate. The state we didn't keep was Israel. All right, read on after that.
He have reserved in everlasting chains under darkness unto the judgment of the great day.
We're reserved in everlasting chains. What are the everlasting chains? The curses. That's what it is. Kept in everlasting everlasting chains under darkness. Okay? What is that chain? The chain is the curses. The darkness is not knowing where to go. There's a scripture in Deuteronomy 28 where it said, "Thou shalt grope in noonday as if you were in darkness." Meaning this, we would be out and about in a time where we would be, we wouldn't know where to go, where you would think that you would know where to go. You get my point? Like, we should know that we're Israelites. We should know how to operate,
Counsel.
know the laws, statutes, and commandments. Many of us don't. Many of us have no idea what life is about, or what our place is, even in this damn country, even in the land of our captivity. You get my point? We don't know our place here. Okay, and that's what it's talking about. Why do we know our place? Why don't we know where to go and how to live? Because we're under everlasting chains. That everlasting chains are the curses. You can go to Deuteronomy 28 where it says, "They shall be a sign and a wonder forever." All right, that's in Deuteronomy 28 and 46, I think. Those are the chains. That's what's binding us. All right,
Counsel.
Salakia, sir.
go ahead.
Another one come.
For that precept that Officer Abiel brought out, can we use Lamentations chapter 3, verses 1, 2, and 6 and 7?
Read 1 and 2.
This is Lamentations chapter 3, verse 1. I am the man that has seen affliction by the rod of his wrath. Verse 2, he hath led me and brought me into darkness, but not into the light. Verse 6, he has set me in the dark places, as they had been dead of old. Verse 7, he hath hedged me about that I cannot get out. He hath made my chain heavy.
That's fine. It's the chain being the oppression. That can, you can skip to that one before you go to Deuteronomy. Your chain, he made his chain heavy. What chain was heavy on Jeremiah? Oppression, captivity. You get my point? And then you can go to Deuteronomy 28th chapter, which is the prophecy of captivity we're facing to this day. Perfect. All right. Now, for audio for you, the judgment of the great day is to right now. Okay, we locked in captivity in hell until Christ returns. You get my point? That's what that's talking about. That has absolutely nothing to do with notice there's no fallen angel there. It has nothing to do with fallen angels, and it has nothing to do with it's a destruction. You get my point. It just said darkness and everlasting change and judgment. It has nothing to do with hell, and it has nothing to do with fallen angels. The concept of fallen angels is from Greek mythology. The Greeks believe that they can have sex with their God, much like the Christians believe they have a personal relationship with Jesus. And if you notice, it's a single woman or a lonely woman or a woman that hadn't been touched in years, a woman who's about as dry as brush in California before wildfire season. You understand? About as dry as a 100-year-old Victorian era attic in the middle of northern Canada. That's about how dry she is. She knows Jesus. Why? Because she is sexually frustrated. Okay, and much like the Greeks and Romans, they believe they could have sex with their gods, intimate with them, and every woman, and these young women too. On Instagram, all of the hoes all got, what's that scripture they love? Psalms 41. The Lord is in the midst of her. That's not talking about you were naked behind on Instagram. That's another scripture. We gotta have a video on that. It's Psalm something. You all know the scripture. It's Psalm something that they all. It's every promiscuous woman has this scripture tattooed on her or mentions it in Facebook or on social medias or what have you, where they talk about it when you hear them. Go ahead, Trooper Supply.
So I understand that here when it says angels, it's speaking about us. So when they say like fallen angels, I understand that in like the Christian church, that's like people in heaven fell from the sky or whatever.
Yeah, they think that there was beef between the Lord and Satan, and the Lord they had a fist fight up in heaven like Dragon Ball Z, and Satan lost and he was cast down to earth, or he's allowed to wreak havoc on something that the Lord made. It's ridiculous. Okay, that's a damn lie. Satan is an employee of the Most High, just like you're an employee of Timmy's or you punch in at Walmart or you work, for the province or for the Fed, for the government, what have you. He's an employee and he loves his job. He loves the Most High. All right, and no angels fell. That's not true. There are angels and demons. There have always been angels and demons. There will always be angels and demons, if you will. Okay.
So I guess, sir.
Go ahead.
So if I could add a comment, like something that was brought out by the captains is heavy. Like when you're cutting that argument, when you take them to Job 1, where Satan came before the Most High, he obeyed every order that the Most High gave him. He didn't rebel against any of them.
Yep. Yeah, absolutely. And you can go to Psalm 78 where it says that he sends evil angels for destruction, or they're sent. Okay, they do as they're commanded.
Right.
All right. Any other questions?
Salaki, sir, I do have one question.
Mm-hmm.
In Revelation chapter 2, verse 1, unto the angels of the church of Ephesus, write these things to he that holdeth the seven stars in his right hand, who walketh in the midst of the seven golden candlesticks. In that verse, are the angels are those angels like angels of the most high, or those Israelites that we're talking about?
No, those are no. Christ is checking a literal angels. Okay. There's an angel over every school. All right. So you don't know that, you'll find out. But yeah, there's an angel over every school. And it's how we have, protocol that orders come down, orders don't come up. I get an order, from above me. Normally it'll come to you, you're getting checked or yelled at. You get my point. That's the angel coming. And what the hell is going on down there? To fix that. Start the class on time. Do this, do that. You get my point. It's not magical. It's like, in the world when you had you had something heavy on your mind, you had a great like inkling or desire to do something, like, oh, something just made me want to come to your house. You ever have that feeling before? Or something made me want to call such and such. Now, when you were in the world, that was mostly a test, because what was it about? Oh, I really want to get high. I really want to smoke weed. I like what's some white girl's name in Canada? Mindy. I really want to get back with Mindy. I'll go back to the massage parlor and get love long time. Now, as you come into the truth, that inkling is, dang, man, what's going on in Winnipeg? Dang, man, let me just make a video about what's going on in Winnipeg. You make a video, lo and behold, somebody sees it and they call us. You get my point? Or I'll give you another example. Dang, man, it'd be crazy to learn Portuguese. You begin to learn Portuguese, and lo and behold, you're teaching goddamn class in Brazil. That's how it comes. It's a thought in your mind, which is the power that the supernatural creatures, or what you call angels and demons, have. You get my point? Just a strong inkling, a desire that, when you come to the truth, you can't run from. You get my point? So that's how orders come down. You get my point, from the top on down. Okay, that's how it happens in most cases, to break it down.
Sir.
But no, that's a literal angel. Okay. Any other questions? Mm-hmm.
I wanted to know if you could use two precepts concerning the topic we just brought out about the breath of life being the commandments.
Yeah.
I wanted to know if you could use Deuteronomy 4:6 and Wisdom of Solomon 7:25.
Go ahead, pull them real quick.
I'm gonna read Deuteronomy first.
Mm-hmm.
So Deuteronomy 4:6 says, "Speak therefore and do them, for this is your wisdom and your understanding in the sight of the nations, which shall hear all these statutes and say, surely this is a great nation and wise and understanding." And then the one in Wisdom of Solomon says, Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 7, verse 25, it says, verse 24 and 25, "For wisdom is more moving than any motion. She passes and goes things by reason of her pureness. She is the breath of the power of God." So I want to know if we can use
The Wisdom of Solomon, I think, would be better. The Deuteronomy 4:6 isn't really on topic. Wisdom of Solomon 7, that's a perfect precept. The wisdom, the knowledge that the Most High had. Perfect. What scripture was that again?
That's Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 7, verse 24 and verse 25.
Yeah, that's perfect. Wisdom of Solomon 7, 24 and 25. I would put that in the breath of life, Adam and Eve breakdown. Any other questions?
Yeah,
Go ahead, Trooper. Shari 1.
just on that topic, is Ezekiel 37 about the dry bones living also a precept for that?
For what? Breath of life? Yeah. Yep. The prophecy would bring them to life. We prophesy about the laws, statutes, commandments, and the destruction of these current kingdoms. That's a perfect precept as well. I was looking at Ezekiel 37 as well. So yeah, you can definitely use that to have more precepts on that. All right. Anything else? All right, let's break down clean and unclean real quick. I meant to do this for weeks. Sister had asked me about being clean and unclean, understanding on it. I didn't. I said I was gonna make a video on it. I never did it. Never got the chance to do it. So let's just break it down. Okay, let's go to Leviticus. Let's go to Leviticus 15. I guess for her for the question that I was presented with, let's just go to Leviticus. Boom. Let's go to start at verse 16. We'll read on down. All right. Someone else get me Leviticus. Hold on. Trooper Uriah, give me Leviticus 20 and 18. Trooper Shar, you want to get Leviticus 15. Let's start at verse 16. All right. I'm going to break down clean and unclean, what it means, briefly. All right.
Salakia, sir. Did you say Leviticus 3 and 16? Or 15 and 16?
Whoever has Leviticus 15 and 17, go ahead and read it. All right. I take my camera off real quick. All right. Hold on 1 second.
Go on.
It's like my audio went out. So Officer Audio, teach the class real quick. I have to come out and then I have to come back into the stream. My headphones go out for some reason. All right. So Officer Audio, you take it. Leviticus 15 and 16. Just break down, clean and unclean. All right. Until I get back in.
All right, Triple Squad, go ahead with the verse.
Leviticus. This is Leviticus 15 and 16.
Mm-hmm.
And if any man's seed of copulation go out from him, then he shall wash all his flesh in water and be unclean until the even.
What is the seed of copulation?
Sperm?
Come on, exactly. It is sperm. You understand? It is the sperm. So once you have sex with a woman, you understand, you become unclean. You understand? And you gotta wash yourself. Like we're not savages. You understand? We're not savages. We are clean men. You understand? We stay clean. You understand? So some people will have sex, you understand, and go to work without washing themselves or do anything without washing. Us, we gotta wash ourselves. You understand? You wash yourself, and you are unclean until the even, which means what, Trooper? What is the even?
That's sundown.
Sundown. You understand? And this is why, like, if you have sex, you understand, and let's say your class is before the sundown, you're unclean to come to class. You understand? So outside bun is back.
Shalom, Akim. I was able to work that out. So let's continue from where we were. It might happen again too. All right. So Salakia in advance. Go
ahead, Officer.
Keep reading.
And every garment.
Keep reading. Can you hear me? Okay, go ahead.
Verse 17. And every garment and skin whereon is the seed of copulation shall be washed with water and be unclean until the even.
You understand that? So the seed comes out of you, whatever it comes on, whatever it lands on, what have you, you just wash it. You understand? It's hygiene. You get my point. And much of the law is hygienic. Like not being a whore, it's very unhygienic to be a promiscuous woman. pH levels thrown off balance. It smells like it's, the Atlantic Ocean. Okay, Jersey smells like Jersey Shore in high heat. Okay, smells like Jersey Shore in high heat. Okay, the back of Red Lobster. Okay, it's not hygienic. It's definitely not beneficial for you, and the Lord's going to be against you. Okay, which is the major point. Okay, but much of this is hygienic. Okay, seed comes out. Go ahead and just wash it off. Wash the clothes, towel, what have you, yourself. Continue reading. And you'll be unclean till the even. Okay, so the question I was asked, being unclean is not this specifically is not a sin. You get my point? Like it's not a sin, but when you are unclean, you cannot come around the people, the class. You get my point? You're not around the congregation, the gathering. So where we gather to, you would not go to. So if we had like High Holy Day, if we had class, and you dealt with your woman, what have you, and seed came out, you would take a shower. You'd be unclean till sundown, which is even. All right, keep reading.
Verse 18. The woman also with whom man shall lie with, seed of copulation, they shall both bathe themselves in water and be unclean until the even.
Okay, so whatever seed gets on, and the woman you're with or what have you, you both take a shower. So the point is, whatever the seed gets on, it's unclean. You wash it. You both would take a shower. All right, which surprisingly other nations don't do. The Africans, they have that permanent smell on them, which is awful. One, because they don't use deodorant. Two, they have sex and put clothes on and you go hit the light rail, okay, and go back to class, or go hit the light rail and go over across town and grab groceries and stuff like that. You know, my point. They're just disgusting. Okay, so all this stuff right here is hygienic.
Right.
Okay.
So, yes, sir.
Go ahead.
I can see a Christian saying that basically, like, I had sex, but the seed didn't come out. Am I still unclean? Like, so my question would be, like, if someone had sex and the seed didn't come out, would you still be unclean?
Hell no. No, the seed doesn't come out, you're not unclean.
Do I, sir?
So if you can do that, that's not unlawful. You get my point? I wouldn't advise it before camp. Don't try and do that before camp. Night before camp, I can do it. I can do it. No, you can't. Okay. Don't ask me how I know. All right, but in any event, yeah. If the seed doesn't come out, it's saying the seed of copulation come out. All right, so that is we're all men here. This is it's in the scripture, so it's necessary to talk about. You know my point. That's ejaculation. You get my point. If you ejaculate, whatever it's on or in or what have you, it's dirty. Wash it, and you yourself and the woman you're with will take a shower. All right. But if you don't, get to that point or it doesn't come out, then no, you're not unclean. Does everyone understand? Keep reading. Keep reading.
And if a woman has an issue, and her issue in her flesh be blood.
An issue is like a gushing forth or proceeding forth. So if a woman has an issue and her issue in her flesh be blood, what does a woman have what is an issue that a woman has in her flesh that's blood? Who knows?
Her Salakia, sir. Her period.
Okay, sir.
Go ahead. Oh, sorry,
Period, sir.
Yeah, her period, her monthly. Okay.
Her period, sir.
Yeah, what do women have? Period. No, anyway. Yeah, this is talking about a period or what you can also call a monthly. Okay, read on.
Oh, Salakia of Khan, sir.
Mm-hmm.
She shall be put apart 7 days.
She shall be put apart 7 days. So when a woman has her period, she's supposed to be put apart. In the kingdom, you understand, your woman, if she's doing business or working or what have you, if she's bleeding, she'll be left alone. Okay, she'll be able to be put apart. Okay, she'd be put apart. I can think of all kinds of ideas. Women's bathhouses. It's going to be the kingdom of heaven where I'm at. Women and sisters are going to have those bathhouses. They like the spas. The warm towels for their their loins or what have you, and it's all in pain. But this kingdom, the so-called white man doesn't give a damn about these women out. They do not care. Woman, when she's bleeding, she should not be going to work. That's why you trying to drive. Can I go in there? She's like, oh, are you talking to all these bras? These bras look like no limit soldiers. They're not given a time off. You try to talk to them, you talking to you try talking to them, they open their mouth. Sounds like Biz Loke. Okay, I thought it was Ergon. Anybody knows Biz Loke? It's over there, dude. I'm talking to Biz Loke, man. That's because she's not given a break. She's not able to be a woman. Point when a woman bleeds, There's nothing wrong with it. There's nothing wrong with her. It's natural for a woman. You get my point? She would be put apart 7 days. She'd be able to be off to herself, away from the kids, what have you, be in a spa, whatever, with her head wrapped, with a towel. That, ladies, they like the cucumbers with the cream and all that. That's where a woman should be. You get my point? Put apart 7 days. Okay, read on.
Salakia, sir.
Go ahead, Trooper.
Just on that verse, do you know if it was historically true that the tribe of Gad would send their women into tents for 7 days?
Yes, that's absolutely true. They did that. Issachar did that. I think the Chileans, Naphtali or Asher would do that too. They would separate their women when they were unclean. Yeah, that's absolutely valid to teach. All right.
Okay. Well,
That's why I just said that, because that's something culturally that we did. They were able to go off. Why would they go off? So they can get a damn break. They can let all that come out of their system. These women, they're full of just guck, and muck, because they have that period. They gotta, shove that piece of cotton up their box and just go on about their business. Tampons are not unlawful, but you were put apart so that you could, operate. Like I said, wash. Like you said about the natives, the women will wash, clean themselves, and be able to relax. Okay, which is what a woman should be able to do. You get my point? Like in this place, a racehorse gets more time off than a woman does. But yet hearing this breakdown you just heard right now, people will say that we hate women. That couldn't be further from the truth. You get my point?
Right.
You will never hear no employer, no Canadian, no prime minister, no queen of damn England, no one break the scriptures down like this about women. You get my point? And that's why the kingdom of heaven is going to be, what it's going to be. It's just paradise. You get my point? Because of stuff like this. Let's read on. And Salaki, and if I could add, we're all men here. You know how a woman is when she's on her time of the month. You don't want to be around her any damn way. I know I don't. You go somewhere else and go put some cucumbers and cream on. Come see me in 7 days. You get my point? She barely want to be around people. She's mad as hell. She's about to knock the whole apartment, not the building. She's gonna knock the whole high rise down. Okay, she's gonna jump up with the arrow like. Was that Mario Brothers? You're gonna jump up on top of the building and crush the damn thing like goddamn Godzilla. You don't want to be around people, so just let her be away. Put apart. It's good for her health, mental health. Okay. You get my point? There's nothing wrong with a woman that she goes through that. She goes through that. She gets moody, so they should be able to, rest and relax. All right, let's read on.
Gone, sir. And whosoever touches her shall be unclean until the even.
You touch her, you're unclean. Why? Because you're touching her because of what's going on with her. It could be blood on what you're touching. You get my point? It's gonna say it as you go down, whatever she sits on and all that. She's sitting. It's unclean because there's blood coming from her, and she's sitting on it. This is before stuff that would stop the bleeding. You get my point? So wherever she sat, and if you touched her, you were unclean because she's bound to have blood on her. You understand?
Gone, sir.
All right, keep reading.
Verse 20. And everything that she lieth upon in her separation shall be unclean.
Mm-hmm.
Everything also that she sitteth upon shall be unclean.
Everything that she lies on and she sits on shall be unclean. Okay, now, do you have to buy a separate bed when she's on her monthly? Okay, if you have the means, by all means do it, but do what you can. All right, so I'll just tell you because it's class. This isn't too personal, but I would have my rib lie on a towel. You'd have a towel on her end, or she'd take there's a set of blankets that she would wrap herself in, sort of, her lower half in, just to make sure that, because she's bleeding, you know what I mean, that some of it came out around the pad or the tampon or what have you, and it got on the sheet. I'm not laying in it. You get my point? So you do that towel, or she would wrap herself and all that, and make sure she washes her hands. You'll be good to go. You understand? And when she sits on, she can put a little towel on it. I know some brothers, they'll put I need to grab this too. What they'll do is when the woman's unclean, you can get a pad. Those little furry covers for the toilet. You can get a little furry cover for the toilet. When she puts that on, it's her time of the month. So I guess she could take that off, or you just know as much as possible to use. If there's another bathroom in the crib, or if there's nothing else you can do, just cover it with toilet tissue like you would in a public restroom. All right, keep reading.
Con, sir. Verse 21. And whosoever toucheth her bed shall wash his clothes and bathe himself in water and be unclean until the even.
You understand? So she'll have a towel, pat her up with a towel, and if she wraps herself in blankets, that's fine. You're good to go. But there's blood on the bed, and you touch the bed, you're unclean. You understand?
Con, sir.
All right, keep reading.
Con, sir. And whosoever toucheth anything that she sat upon shall wash his clothes and bathe himself in water and be unclean until the even.
It's the same premise as what I mentioned in verse 21. Read on.
And if it be on her bed or on anything whereon she sitteth, when he toucheth it, he shall be unclean until the even.
That's the point. The point of you touching this stuff, you being unclean, is because there's blood on it. You know, they would stuff at this time. If you had a woman had a monthly, it was flowing. You know, point. So there would be splats and spots of blood wherever she sat. That's why it's saying in this verse, you touch it. What is it? Is the blood that's issuing from her? You be unclean. Right? Read on.
Verse 24. And if any man lie with her at all, and her flowers be upon him, he shall be unclean 7 days. And all the bed whereon he lieth shall be unclean.
Okay. Now I had somebody else pull Leviticus 20 and 18. Trooper Urad, read Leviticus 20 and 18, and I'm gonna let you all break this down. All right. Read Leviticus 20 and 18. Go ahead.
Leviticus chapter 20, verse 18. And if a man shall lie with a woman having her sickness and should uncover her nakedness, he has discovered her fountain, and she has uncovered the fountain of her blood, and both of them shall put Salakia, and both of them shall be cut off from among their people.
Okay, Leviticus chapter. Hold on one second. That was the only verse. The water. Leviticus chapter 15, verse 24. It says, "If any man lie with her at all, and her flowers be upon him, and he shall be unclean 7 days, and all the bed whereon he lieth shall be unclean." This other verse said, "If he uncovers her to discover her fountain, the fountain of her blood, and lies with her, he shall be cut off." What is the difference? First of all, what is Leviticus 15 and 24 talking about, Officer Darash?
Leviticus 15 and 24 is saying, okay, it's talking about if you sleep with your wife while she's on her period.
While she's on it?
If a man lie with her at all and her flowers be upon. Oh, Salakia, no, not while she.
And her flowers be upon him. You see what I'm getting at here? This is two. Okay, I had these read because these are two different scenarios. One scenario, you're unclean 7 days. The other scenario, your ass is getting. Excuse me, you're getting deported. Okay, you're kicked out of the nation of Israel. You're no longer an Israelite. You're a nasty sexual deviant. You can go to China. Or you can go to Turkey or something. Okay, so the first scenario, Officer Darash explained, is if you, let's say you lay down with your woman. When you lay down with her, does she have her monthly? Trooper Shariwan? In this scenario, Leviticus 15, when you lay down with her, was she bleeding out? Trooper Shariwan?
La, sir.
La, you laid down with her. Everything was good to go. That's why you laid down with her. And you cut the lights on, and it's looking like Friday the 13th. You unclean 7 days, wash up, just chalk it up, and that's that. Okay? When you laid down with her, she was not on her monthly through like the force of penetration or because her monthly was close, it was close to her time. Her monthly came on through you having sex with her. Right? It's on you. It's on the bed. Take a shower. You'll be unclean for 7 days. Now, Leviticus chapter 20, verse 18, saying if you uncover a woman, right, that is on her sickness, meaning she's on her period. You know it. She's on her period. You uncover her, right? You start to undress her, and you see the fountain of blood. You see the blood gushing, okay? And you see that, and you go in and lie with her. You're a sexual deviant, and something wrong is wrong with you. You're getting kicked out. Okay, there's something deeply wrong with you, and that's why they put you out. You didn't tolerate, sexual deviance and cats that like to have threesomes, and who else? Men that would lay down with women and then kick them to the curb. That's not how it was supposed to operate. That definitely wasn't how marriage was, and we don't tolerate sexual deviance in here, child molesters and all that. You're getting put to death. Right. You're getting kicked out. You're no longer Israelite. You can go live with the Chinese and do that nonsense. Okay, so if you think a period doesn't stop anything but a sentence, you get kicked out of Israel. Okay, isn't that a saying now? A period doesn't stop anything but a sentence. It's just disgusting. There's some other sayings. Get your red wings, but there are people in the world that had sex with women on their period. If you did that, don't ever do that again. You get my point? Yeah. That's good.
All right.
Say again, Trooper Squad. What are you saying?
It's like, yes, sir. I heard that one before. Still, it was an Edomite who told me that, the Red Wings one.
Yeah, get your red wings.
Yeah, I think it was Edomite still.
Yeah, you know they having a ball. Okay, you're vile and disgusting. You can't do that in Israel. Everyone understand the difference? So if she's unclean, if she's on her monthly, she's bleeding out, you cannot have sex with her. Okay, you just wait the goddamn 7 days, and then after you would she would wash, and then she would be able to operate, with her normal, like you operate with your woman. Okay, lay down with her. Go to Leviticus 15 and 25. This is the last verse I'm going to read on this, and then I'm going to go into my topic.
Leviticus 15 and 25. And if a woman have an issue of her blood many days out of the time of her separation.
Now stop. The time of her separation is how long? Who knows? We're talking about issue of blood or periods.
Salakia, sir.
Go ahead.
7 days, sir?
7 days. That's which is about. If you type in menstruation on Google, it lasts 3 to 7 days. That's the time of a normal menstruation. The Bible is all about science. Okay, the Bible is all about knowledge and hygiene and all that. Okay, even before modern medicine and all that. Okay, so she was unclean 7 days because a normal menstrual lasts for about 7 days. Now, let's say she's bleeding on the 8th day, the 9th day. This will happen with sisters who just had a baby. Other than that, if your woman is bleeding longer than 7 days, you want to take note of that, and you want to get her to a gynecologist, the OBGYN that she deals with. All right, you want to get in and check on that early, because that's not something to take lightly. Okay, if it continues to happen, let's say she has a heavy period or a period that lasts longer than 7 days. Every day that she's bleeding after the 7 days, it's you tack on 1 extra day of her being unclean. So let's say she had her period for 7 days, and this is the 8th day, and she's still bleeding. She would be unclean for that day. If she stops bleeding before sundown and she showers, she is clean after sundown. Does everyone understand what I'm saying?
Sir.
Officer Darash.
So, okay, I was a bit confused because I thought that okay, let's say it goes past her 7 days. Okay, let's say okay, so is this saying that if she bleeds past her 7 days, would you add another 7 days?
No, it should be as the days of her separation. Read verse 25. Just gonna say that.
Me, sir?
No, whoever was reading.
Leviticus 15, verse 25. And if a woman has an issue of her blood many days out of the time of her separation, or if it run beyond the time of her separation, all the days of the issue of her uncleanness shall be as the days of her separation.
All the days of the issue of her uncleanness shall be as the days of her separation. She is unclean for 7 days. Just hone in there. It said it. Hold on. It says it on verse 19. Verse 19 is the premise of this. We're talking about monthlies, periods. Leviticus 15:19 says, From the day she starts bleeding, she's unclean for 7 days. If it runs beyond the 7 days, those days, plural, are as the days of the separation. So you tack on 1 day. You wouldn't tack on a week. All right.
Okay, that's another thing. So when she starts bleeding, that's when you count the 7 days.
Yes, from the time she starts. Let's say she starts bleeding on. Let's say she starts Tuesday night, right? Tuesday after sundown, she'll be unclean till Wednesday sundown. Everyone understand? Because that Tuesday sundown, you're really going into the next day. So the 7 days would end. The 7 days would end Wednesday at sundown. All right, 7 days from the time she starts bleeding. I don't care what it is. When her menstrual starts, from that point on, she's unclean for 7 days. If it's a heavy menstrual or it's going on beyond 7 days, each day after the menstrual, she's unclean. This stuff is this is the basics, but it's important to understand. All right.
So basically, the only reason it says 7 days is because typically a period lasts 7 days.
Exactly. You look up menstruation. A menstruation will last 3 to 7 days. So let's go to the flip side now. The flip side would be, let's say she's only bleeding for 3 days, and after that, there's no blood coming from her. She's still unclean. You still can't go down there and deal with her. You get my point? For 7 days, you can't operate down there. Let's say she only bleeds for 3 days. She's still unclean for the whole 7 days, and when after the 7 days are done, then you can deal with her. All right.
Okay.
All right. So give her a rest. Many different things are happening with her body. That's not a time for her to be dealt with. All right. It's unhygienic. It's disgusting, and you're playing around in blood. All right. Go ahead.
I'm a little bit more confused now. So, well, how come she's okay? If she only bleeds for 3 days, let's say she bleeds for 3 days, she's unclean for 7, right?
Mm-hmm.
How come? But if she's still bleeding all the way up until the 7th day, wouldn't she be clean at after evening, right?
Yeah. She would take a shower before the sundown, and after sundown, she's not bleeding anymore. She'd be clean.
But how come the woman who has it for 3 days, she has to wait 7 days, but the woman who has it for 7 days,
read Leviticus 15 and 19, Officer Darash.
And if a woman and in her blood, she shall be put apart 7 days, and whosoever toucheth her shall be unclean until the even.
You see that? It didn't say whether she bled or not. All I'm saying is that the max time of her normal period is 7 days. So it doesn't say whether she's bleeding the whole 7 days or not. If she has an issue of blood that proceeds from her, which is a period or monthly, from the time it starts, she's unclean. She's unclean 7 days. Now, she doesn't have to bleed all 7 days. It doesn't say that. You get my point? But when it starts, when the monthly starts, she's unclean 7 days. After that, after the 7 days, she before the 7 days is up, on the 7th day, rather, she will bathe. Sundown, she will be clean. If she keeps bleeding after the 7 days, she would wash, and that day at sundown, she would be clean. Does that make sense? It doesn't mention whether she bled or not, because it doesn't matter.
Okay, I was confused because I thought that you would start this. Okay, I thought you would start the 7 days from the time she stopped bleeding.
No, because then while she's bleeding, you would be able to go in there, and you can't. You read Leviticus 20:18.
Okay, when she starts, obviously you separate from her, but once she's done, she needs like a 7-day cleansing process. That's what I thought it was saying.
No. This is verse 19. It says if she have an issue of blood, so she's bleeding. So this isn't after. This is when she is bleeding. When she's bleeding, the 7-day period starts. All right. After the 7 days is up, when she washes, she's clean because she's no longer bleeding. Her menstrual is over. All right. Just hone in on that. No, you don't add a week after she's clean, after she stops bleeding.
Okay.
All right. So that's basically the gist of clean and unclean. Someone had asked me that. I never got to break it down. So it's there now. You can tell your ribs. You can go from like the 40-minute mark to a minute an hour and 10-minute mark. Okay, for the clean and unclean for the ladies and for the brothers as well through sex, etc. There are other ways to become unclean if you're around a dead body, but this specific point I think was the one that I was asked. If you're unclean, you cannot come to class. So let's say the class is at someone's house, a woman who's on her monthly, or the brother that had sex with his rib. It's before sundown, they would not be able to come to class. All right. That other part about sex isn't a problem now because the sun sets way before, class occurs anyway, for the most part. Right. So as long as you take a shower, by the time class starts, you'd be good to go. But that's what I was asked. So that's what I broke down. All right. So do we have any questions?
Khan, there is a question in the chat, and I believe it pertains to your topic that you're going to go into.
Yeah, go ahead.
The question is from Chaser Q. What do you guys think of the new lockdowns in Canada?
Yeah, and Chaser Q, that's a great question, man. We think that the lockdowns in Canada are an act of God. All right, this plague, the coronavirus, call it what you want, a pandemic or what have you. The sinners believe that the slave master, the Caucasian, is all powerful. So they think, oh, did he plan to switch the off button in his economy and have everybody go and grab Serb and have hundreds of thousands of people die and ruin his own tourism industry and his airliner industry so that he can push this new vaccine out to people to make them take a chip or a vaccine? I don't know. No, but here's what I do know. I do know the plagues come from the one you call God. All right. Plagues come from the one you call God, and they're meant to destroy sinners. All right. Let me get I forget that. There's a scripture in Habakkuk, right? The scripture in Habakkuk I always go to for plagues in the Most High. But in the meantime, someone grab me Deuteronomy 28 and 61. All right.
Salak, you still want the Habakkuk one?
No, I'll look for that myself. Just get Deuteronomy 28 and 61, please.
Khan. I have it when you're ready, sir.
Read.
Deuteronomy 28:61. Also, every sickness and every plague which is not written in the book of this law, them will the Lord bring upon thee until thou be destroyed.
Hold on 1 second. Yeah, Habakkuk 3 and 5, Officer Daraj. Officer Zabadi, read that scripture again.
Come on.
So, Salak, I didn't hear you. You were breaking up.
Habakkuk 3 and 5. Go ahead, Officer Zabadi, go ahead. It's Habakkuk 3 and 5, all right?
Khan, I'll get it right now, sir.
No, Officer Zabadi, you read Deuteronomy 28 and 61 again.
Khan, sir. Deuteronomy 28:61. Also, every sickness and every plague which is not written in this Salakia, which is not written in the book of the law, them will the Lord bring upon thee until thou be destroyed.
Then will the Lord bring upon you until I be destroyed. Akim and Officer Darash's frame. Do you all have two sources? Because I'm hearing you speak, but then I'm hearing you speak as like on like an echo. Do you guys have two sources running? Is someone are there two computers on or something?
Last.
Sir.
Okay, I'm hearing myself. Is anyone else hearing that? Like it's like a reverb, it's like an echo.
Yeah, I hear it on my side as well.
Yeah. Do you guys have some other? Okay, are there two devices connected to Restream that are on, but one? It's,
is it better?
Yeah, read it again, Officer Zabadia. Let's try it now.
Khan. Deuteronomy 28:61. Also, every sickness and every plague which is not written in the book of this law, them will the Lord bring upon thee until thou be destroyed.
Every sickness and every plague which is not written in the book of this law. COVID is not written in the book of this law. Syphilis, herpes, AIDS is not written in the book of this law. High blood pressure, heart disease, all the mental illness, PTSD, and schizophrenia, psychosis, all the things that we suffer as Negroes, Latinos, and Natives. It's not written in the book of this law. But every plague and every sickness that's not in the book of this law, then when he put on us for not keeping his law. Okay? So-called Haitians, so-called West Indians, So-called Latinos are being hit hard by the COVID-19 in Canada. You can forget about the States. The States, it is absolutely ridiculous. Okay? Absolutely ridiculous. So-called blacks, Latinos, and natives are being crushed by COVID-19 because COVID-19 is an act, it's a supernatural act. Okay? The Most High, like all plagues do, and he brings it on earth through people being foolish and people being idiots. Okay? Some cat ate a penguin or a bat, and it crossed the human animal barrier, and it became transmissible to humans. And now you got the damn COVID-19. And that's all that it is. Okay. Anything else is just conjecture, and it can't be proven. Here's what can be proven. It's a plague from the Most High. Absolute plague from the Most High. When you consider what it has done to the earth. I mean, Italy is decimated. Italy went on lockdown. Do you know how old Italy is? Italy is literally since the time of Christ. Literally how old Italy is. Literally how old their money is. And they messed it up in what, 4 months? They're running around panicking. Okay, the healthcare system, this third wave is going to be bad because the healthcare system can't take it. Okay, absolutely cannot take it, and he's going to plague those that disobey him. Meaning, COVID-19 is going to come upon us with bad outcomes if we don't do what he says. Okay, read verse 21, Deuteronomy 28 and 21.
Another one, Khan. Deuteronomy 28:21. The Lord shall make the pestilence cleave unto thee until he have consumed thee from off the land, whither thou goest to possess it.
That's how else you know it's from the Most High, because it is cleaving to us. Okay, it is cleaving to us like lunch meat on bread. Okay, that's how else you know it's from the Most High. All right, and this is where this plague came from. But get me Psalm 91 and 10. Psalm 91 and 10. We don't have to suffer under this, man. We don't have to suffer as heavily as we are suffering under the COVID, the coronavirus, COVID-19, whatever you want to call it. Okay, we'll show you how in the ISUPK. Read.
Psalms 98 and 21.
91 and 10.
Salakia, sir. You got it? I'm looking for it now.
Trooper Uriah, get me Exodus 23 and 25. Trooper Shariwan, give me 1 Kings 8 and 37, all right?
Salakia, sir. I have the verse.
Read.
God. Psalms 91, verse 10. There shall no evil befall thee, neither shall any plague come nigh thy dwelling.
There shall no evil befall thee. Who is the thee? Those that are righteous. Those that are righteous, there shall no evil befall thee, nor any plague come nigh thy dwelling. Might you get COVID-19? Sure. But don't let it phase you at all, because don't let it phase you at all if you're doing what the Most High said. If you're not doing what the Most High said, COVID-19 is going to come nigh your dwelling. It'll kill your kids, your aunt, your wife, you. Kill everybody in the damn house. Okay, you're going to be intubated and your lungs are going to give out. Okay, in the damn hospital, this is how people are dying too. Also, too, for just a point of reference, point to know, most people that are dying of COVID are dying of something called ARDS, which is acute respiratory distress syndrome. I think basically what's going on is if you're having trouble breathing, they put you on the ventilator. The problem with putting people on ventilators is there's a side of your lungs that's just destroying the alveoli. So the front part of your lungs are getting too big. It's too much pumping action on the front part of your lungs because you're lying down and you're getting ventilated. But the back part of your lungs is facing your back. They're getting too full of blood and something else. But whatever it is, it's causing those. It's like air sacs, which is what your lungs made of. It's causing those air sacs to die. And then what will happen is you'll just have respiratory distress to the point that you'll die. Or what's happening with people too is they're having straight up organ failure. Okay, what's happening is if your lungs get too inflamed and they push up on your heart, because your organs are in a sack. It's like a bag. Your lungs or what have you is in one bag. Your intestines is in another bag, and your heart's in a sack. Okay, the sack of your lungs. If your lungs inflate and it pushes up on the sack, it'll push up on your heart. your heart will explode. You'll have a damn heart attack. Okay, so a lot of people are dying of organ failure as well. All right, it's a carnal reason. The spiritual reason, of course, we know the Most High is destroying this earth. He's washing it clean. Okay, it won't come nigh thy dwelling. All right, the plague will not come nigh thy dwelling. If you get COVID-19, don't sweat it. Don't cry like a damn baby and moan and all that other nonsense. Okay, because if the Lord is with you, the Lord's with you. Okay. Whoever has it, read Exodus 23 and 25. Okay.
Come, sir. This is the book of Exodus, chapter 23, verse 25.
Mm-hmm.
And ye shall serve the Lord your God, and he shall bless thy bread and thy water, and I will take sickness away from the midst of thee.
See that when you serve the Most High, you put down pork. Much of the problems of high blood pressure, gout, cholesterol, high cholesterol levels, heart issues, etc., go away, and that shellfish as well. Allergenic reactions, of lung problems, and all that. Okay, the Lord can take the sickness away from us. Gout, arthritis, high blood pressure, mental illness. We serve Him. He can take it away, man. He can take it away. He can make you functional and whole again. All right, it's possible. But what we have to do is the hard part, which is serve Him. All right, and if you don't serve Him and you vaping and you get the COVID-19, the COVID-19 is going to smack you in your teeth. Okay, if you're out smoking packs of Newports and all that. That's why so many people are dying in America, because they're full of sexual deviancy and vape smoke and bongs. Okay, and the COVID-19 looks at your weed-filled lungs, it rolls its sleeves up, and it goes to work. Okay, and COVID-19 loves your weed-filled lungs. It's going in there, it's going to put you to death, choke you until you're dead. Okay, so that's why your death toll is so high in America. The Lord wants judgment on this place. Those that serve Him, He can take away the sickness from you. You can get COVID-19. He can take the COVID-19 away from you. Remember, Hezekiah, one of the kings, Hezekiah, he was about to die. Remember that? He was about to die. He's crying. Oh my God, this is it. And Isaiah told him, take this lump of figs, here, lay this lump of figs on you, what have you. I think he went to the Most High as well before or after that, and the Lord gave him 15 more years. He can take the sickness away from you, man. He can take the sickness away. Okay. So again, don't sweat the damn COVID-19 if you get it or what have you. And as far as the vaccine goes, listen, if they need a vaccine for me to cross the damn border, I'll do everything short of anything short of anything to continue to push the truth. All right, not worried about no damn vaccine. There's no damn chip in it. There's no proof of that. You're taking the vaccine and not get sick. God damn it. So
Right.
if they giving you a vaccine to take to travel, I'm going to take it. Do everything short of, I'm not going to say it on air, but I suffer all things for the elect's sakes, for those that'll be chosen to be delivered. I make myself available in every way possible for them. Everyone understands.
Right.
on cut.
All right. Let's go to 1 Kings 8 and 37.
This book of 1 Kings, chapter 8 and verse 37.
Mm-hmm.
If there be in the land famine, if there be pestilence,
Famine, no food, which is coming in a hot second to Canada. Famine, straight up and down famine, no food on the damn shelves. We're, of course, preparing because we prepare like the ant. The scripture in Proverbs, considerest thou the ant, O sluggard? It hath no king or ruler. It gathers in the summer for the winter. That's what we're doing. Like ants, just ferreting food over to, store and what have you. All right. If there be famine or pestilence, COVID-19 is an absolute pestilence. It's an absolute catastrophic event. It's a catastrophic illness that has plagued the world. Read on.
Blasting.
Blasting. Blasting. I'll have to look that up. I'm about 90% sure that's like a drought. All right, but I'm going to look that up. Don't teach on that yet. I'll have to get blasting. All right, but go ahead.
Mildew.
Mildew, a mold, a plague or what have you that's affecting plants and stuff like that, which is what a mildew is. Read on.
Locust.
Locusts. Okay, locusts. The locusts are flying around Asia, Africa, eating everybody's crops. They're not asking anybody whose it is. Okay, what you got over there, man? Got some corn? Mind if I have some? Yup, your whole damn field is gone. Okay, there's a swarm of locusts flying everywhere, eating everything. All right, read on.
Or if there be caterpillar.
Caterpillars, another plague. You get enough caterpillars in the field, you can forget about having corn on the cob. Okay, read on.
If their enemy besiege them in the land of their cities.
Enemy besiege them in the land of their cities. The enemy has besieged you, man. You heard about the brother that was just killed, a young man, just killed by two brothers with guns. They had those guns. Those guns aren't legal in Canada. Where do you think they got the guns from? Negroes don't own guns or 3D print guns or have the ability to make bullets. All that's coming from the oppressor. All the fault of the shootings in Jane and Finch are at the feet of the oppressor, the feet of the so-called Caucasian. I don't care who pulls the trigger. Okay, that's what they say. They say this about every other race. Every other race, when they go through some sort of trauma, well, he went through this because his people were put through the Armenian genocide. Okay, let me give you a story. Right, the Armenian genocide happened. Armenians were genocided by the Turks. The Turks were walking them through a desert, and the Turks, they were hiring. You know, they let rapists out of jail, serial murderers, and were giving them axes, and let them just walk the Armenians in the desert and just do whatever they wanted. So they were raping everything they couldn't move as fast as them. I mean, they take the axes, they just axing people in the damn desert. Now you and your family, you get your father gets axed to death, your mother and your daughter sisters are raped, and you manage to live. Right? One of these cats, he lived. He's a man. He went to New York City. He blew a hole in one of these Turks' heads in the 20s. Blew a hole in his head. You know what they said? He did it because of what happened during the Armenian genocide. Right? Somehow we went through oppression, we went through destruction, and we go and do it to ourselves because we so kind and gentle to everybody else, but we take out our anger on everybody else. You the damn gentlest little lion down in Dundas and Yonge going shopping, looking like a damn fashion model. When it comes to Jane and Finch, the full nigga has arrived. Okay, South Central LA, don't drink juice and disrespect South Central. Goddamn, Boys in the Hood fully comes out. Okay, we're doing that for the same reason the man who survived the Armenian genocide blew a hole in the Turk's head, because he's angry of oppression. Okay, who has the guns to provide to these people? You know who? The devil, slave masters. All that's his fault. Okay, all that's his fault. Well, we're gonna have to go to the Most High about it, man. We're gonna need supernatural intervention to get through this. Okay, because there's an entity that is much greater than we are, much more educated than we are, has much more wealth and economic power and political power than we do, that is making sure that events like this happen. There absolutely is. That can't be refuted.
Right.
Okay, and the only way we're going to be able to defeat him is by going to the Most High. The Most High will answer our prayers and bring the COVID-19. This is what your ancestors picking sugarcane in the West Indian Islands. This is what they wanted. This is the Haitian man, Haitian brothers. This was his last dying breath as he's insides have cooked from not getting any water in Haiti. He's made to cut sugar cane until he drops dead. This was their dying breath, man. It's happening right now. This was the dying breath of the many millions of Aztecs and Incas that they've murdered. This was their dying breath, man. This was their prayer. Their prayer was that this would end. Their prayer was that their children would be able to grow up somewhere they could be safe, where they could be protected, man. Where they could have a better life, quote unquote. Well, this is how a better life's going to be brought. The bully has to get punched in his mouth, and that's just what's going on. Okay, we need to go to the Most High, as it says in 1 Kings 8:37 through 38. Keep reading. 1 Kings 8:37.
Whatsoever plague, whatsoever sickness there be.
Read on.
What prayer and supplication soever be made by any man, or by all the people Israel.
By any man or by all the people Israel. I'll translate that for you. Whether he's a native born Israelite or he's a damn Canadian. You get my point? He's a Guatemalan living in Canada, or Honduran, or El Salvadoran, or Mexican, or he's a West Indian from one of the islands. Any man. We're not Israelites, we're Canadians. We're Americans. We're Haitians. You get my point? We're Hondurans and Guatemalans. And that's what it means when it says any man. Any man. And all thy people Israel. Israelites born and Israelites born through the bloodline. All right. So no matter where you are, if you go to the Most High and turn to Him and pray to Him and make supplication, meaning make an earnest plea, an earnest beg earnestly to the Most High, He'll take away the sickness, the plague, whatever, mental illness, and all those things. If enough of us go to the Father, enough of us go to the Most High. What are we begging the Toronto Police Service for when one of our brothers gets killed, gets murdered? We need to go to the Most High, okay? Because it's no secret how those guns get there. And riddle me this, Akim. How is it in every city, in every country where they have strict gun laws, the criminals own all the guns?
Right.
How does that make sense? How does that add up? You don't have a gun, but the Driftwood Crips, they got all the guns. They're gonna rob you, harass your daughter, okay, harass your wife, and you can't do a damn thing about it. Okay, how do they have all the damn guns? What am I missing? Legal, law-abiding citizens can't buy guns. Then every criminal in the city got military-grade weapons, 40 cals on the damn street, Desert Eagles. You'd be amazed at the type of guns they have on the damn street. Chicago the same way. You can't have a gun in Chicago. You can't. And go look up how many gun stores are in Chicago. There are no gun stores in the city of Chicago. I'm going to say that again. All the guns, you hear about all the shootings, 70 people shot. There are no gun stores in Chicago. None. That's disgusting. That is absolutely disgusting. And it is because our oppressor is making sure that guns get there. The poor people. He's making sure of it. We need to go to the Most High, and He'll end this sickness. He'll end this plague that we're going through. Go ahead.
I've heard stories of in Chicago, they literally roll around with trucks and just dump guns in places where we live, so our people could have guns to murder each other.
Yeah, it's 6 a.m. 6 a.m. South side of Chicago. They'll dump crates of guns off. These guns are military grade. Okay, military grade weapons. All right, and okay, this is an aside. Of course, it's going on, but you got to understand the devil. There'll be murder that goes on, but he makes Chicago out to be like El Salvador or something. You get my point? I've been to the south side of Chicago twice. Brothers told me about. There was a brother that was driving to class and he saw a shootout happen, but it's not what they make it out to be on TV. I've been to Chicago twice. I was in the cut too. Right by the O Block. You've heard of the O Block? Yeah, it was right over. Yeah, it was right over by the O Block, by what they're saying, 60 O Block 64th or something. I was on 72nd at a brother's crib for like 3-4 days. Everything was peaches and cream, man. To be honest with you. Now people don't walk around at night. I understand why, but it's not what they make it out to be. It's poor as hell, but they make it out to be like it's El Salvador or something. It's not, or Honduras. It's not. You get my point. There's crime that's going on, but understand this: that the slave master will promote criminality on your music. He'll tell you that you just a criminal. Your woman's nothing but a whore. And then when he sees the slightest inkling of it, he's going in full force with the media because they want the south side of Chicago. There's great land there. And they want Jane Finch. There's something to Jane Finch specifically that they want. That's why they highlight it always with the shootings and all that. That stuff happens, but they want that land, man. How do I know they want the land? Because they broke up the projects before in Canada, didn't they? Regent Park was massive. They splintered and broke all that up. So they do that all the time. And who's living there? Where Regent Park was, who's living where many of the public housing was, who Punjab and them. Okay, they refurbish it. Now it's beautiful and crime free. What a damn shocker, a surprise. Okay, we need to go to the Most High, and the Most High will remove that sickness from us, that plague from us. Okay, and when our enemies besiege us at the gates, enemies besieging you at the gates of Canada, man. Guns get there. You think you go gung ho with the damn guns, and he's coming right behind you to lock you up, take your grandmama, take Sister Nancy and all her roots and herbs out of the damn public high rise, mow it down, and then make some nice condos. Okay? That's what he's always coming to do. Our enemy is besieging us at the gates. Sickness, plague, COVID-19 is among us, and we need to go to the Most High. Man.
That's
We need
right.
to go to the Most High. Okay, that's where we go with it. Prayer. And prayer is important, man. Now, we don't pray like Muslims. Muslims have 7 times a day, or 5 times. I think 7 times a day or something. Because they trying to one up us. Because David said, he said 3 times a day or something. Do I pray to you? And I think the Muslims increase it to 5. They just disgusting. They criminals a damn self. So who cares about that? You pray as often as you feel the urge to in the spirit. But you don't want to pray like Christians. Oh Lord, I hope for small stuff. Lord, a peanut butter and jelly or turkey on wheat. Lord God, peanut butter and jelly and turkey on wheat. Don't do that. Okay, God is not your mom. Is not your woman. All right, He's a man of war. Go ahead, Officer Garage.
That when you said about the praying how many times, like it struck my memory, like in Daniel 6 and 10, it says that he prays 3 times a day.
Yeah, that's customary. Okay, I'll break that down for you, right? That was customary in Israel. David said he did that too. Daniel said he did that too. There is no law that says you have to pray 3 times a day. That's not a law. All right. The brothers in the Old Testament, brothers back in the day, David, Daniel, they prayed 3 times a day because there was a morning, midday, and an evening sacrifice that was made. There's a sacrifice you made basically at 9 a.m., 12 a.m., and then I think it's 3 p.m. or something like that. But every few hours, there was a sacrifice that was made. The sacrifice was made. The temple was open. People would go to the temple to pray. All right, you can read about that in the New Testament. The brothers that rolled with Yahushua, the one the world calls Christ, they would go to the temple and pray or what have you. That's why they did that 3 times a day. All right, that's why Daniel did it. That's why David did it, because there were 3 sacrifices generally that were made a day. All right, and during that time, you would come and pray. The Arabs again copied what we did in the Old Testament, and the Arabs will have a call, terrorist call. They'll all come in their robes. And after they slept with a 9-year-old girl to wash up, or they don't wash up, after they slept with a 9-year-old girl, and they'll go and bow their heads on Aladdin carpets. Okay, they get that from the Bible, all right, from the Old Testament chiefly. We did it 3 times a day because of that reason. It's not a law to pray 3 times a day. You can pray more, you pray once a day, what have you. Just do it this way. Do it whenever you feel to do it in the spirit. Matthew 6 and 10. When you pray in this manner. He gave us the model, the template for prayer. You can pray about whatever you want. Say it in the Lord's name, Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Most High's name, in the name of His Son. You get my point. One the world calls Christ, and let that be that. All right. But it's important. It's important. It's so important for what's going on. What's going on now is happening because men and women prayed for it in Israel. Okay. Drop that. Give me Psalm 41 and 3. Okay.
Psalms, oh my God.
Psalm
41. Psalm 41, verse 3. The Lord will strengthen him upon the bed of languishing. Thou wilt make all his bed in his sickness.
Your sound cut out, Trooper. Trooper, your rod. I can't hear you. Did it happen to anyone else or no?
Nah, sir, we can hear.
Oh, my sound cut out. Okay. Trooper Urad, read Psalm 41 and 3. Officer Adar, you take over. I have to come out and come back in. My headphones cut off for some reason. Salaki Akim. I'll be right back.
Fine. This is the book of Psalms, chapter 41.
Go ahead, Trooper Urad.
Verse 3. The Lord will strengthen him up. The Lord will strengthen him upon the bed of languishing. Thou wilt make all his bed in
just like what? God, what is it? What does it mean to languish?
means like,
Right. What does the word to language means?
means when
Right.
when you're in pain, when you're not well, when you're sick.
Exactly. You understand? When you're suffering, exactly. You understand? And God is the one that's gonna give you the power over that. You understand? God could make you go through that. Understand? So just like Officer Aban was saying, like if you in pain, you seen these sickness, you understand? Pray to the Most High, man. You understand? Pray to the Most High. Be righteous. The Most
Shalom
High
Akim
could
back
heal
in the
you, man.
game. Salakia.
All right, go ahead, Officer
Shalom
Aban.
Akim back in the game. All right. Yeah, Officer Adi, I broke it down. Just the Lord strengthen you. He'll take the sickness from you. Don't sweat this COVID-19, man. Ride through it again. Of course, there's things currently you can take for it, vitamins or what have you. You know you got the booklet that we had sent you. All right, from up top, Commander General Yohana on down. The book was put together by Captain Yashamar. You can go check that out. All right, for all the herbs and vitamins and minerals. All right, that you take. Let's go to voting. All right, go to Hosea 2, or Hosea chapter 10, verse 2. Somebody else get me 2 Peter 1 and 10. Trooper Urad, get me Hosea 5 and 13. All right.
Okay.
Probably gonna wrap it up with this. Officer Darash, I'm gonna need you to have the security announcements. You have the security announcements?
Khan.
Okay, have the security announcements, and then we're gonna say the Lord's Prayer, and then we're gonna wrap the class up, all right?
Khan.
The water. Whoever has Hosea 10 and 2, read it.
Hosea chapter 10, verse 2. Their heart is divided. Now shall they be found faulty.
Now shall we be found faulty. Our heart is divided, man. Like, okay, we want the police to stop oppressing us. We're tired of seeing our brothers and sisters get murdered by the police. We're going to go and vote and promote someone. Excuse me, I'm about to sneeze. Salaki. We're going to go vote and promote someone that is going to give the police more money. Joe Biden is going to give the police more money than Donald Trump. That was known before the election. We want police killing to stop. We went out and supported Biden. All kinds of Negroes and Latinos and First Nations in Canada are happy that Joe Biden won. They shouldn't be, because their brothers across the border in the States are getting locked up. Okay, that Kamala Harris, that racial amoeba, the racial anomaly, Kamala Harris, the racial transformer, is going to lock everybody up. Okay. First of all, she sounds like Lois from Family Guy. I couldn't imagine taking a stand, and she's the damn judge. Now, Peter, you're going to jail. God damn it. Lois is gonna put Lois from Family Guy is gonna put you in prison. That's what she sounds like, and that little woman is going to prosecute everybody. Okay, all the Negroes that they let out in the States because of COVID, all of them are going back to jail. Everyone. All the so-called Black and Hispanic women that they let out of prison because of COVID, all of them are going back to jail. All right, our heart is divided. We can't have both. Can't be streets about police killings and vote a president in who's going to support the police, give the police more money, okay, and is really not trying to give you a damn stimulus check. That's what I'm waiting on personally. It's class, so I'm not going to interject what I want personally, but you can't have it both ways. The Democrats are vile, just like the Republicans, and so-called black people and Hispanics are going to be hunted like deer during this presidency of Joe Biden. The police killings are going to increase. You want to see just random white men just murder black people and get away with it. Okay, murder Hispanics and get away with it. Murder Native Americans and just go walk off scot-free. You're going to see more of that. As soon as they open these schools up, all these white kids that couldn't kill people in school are going to kill everybody. School shootings are going to happen in the States like 90 going north under a Democratic president, and there's not a damn thing they're going to be able to do about it. Okay, school shootings are going to wash across this damn this country, the country of the United States, and it's going to spill over into Canada as well. Our heart is divided, man. Our mind is divided. Okay, if we want the police killings to stop, listen, the IGBK, we say it every week, man. Everywhere, all across the world, we have to turn to the Most High. These laws, statutes, and commandments. Those are the three most important words of 2020. Laws, statutes, commandments. Keep them. Okay, learn about them and keep them to not get COVID and not get your 12-year-old shot by two idiots, the two stooges, going to go be, I don't know, Italian goddamn mobsters in Toronto. Okay, that's what we need. Our heart is divided. Read on. Verse 3.
He shall break down their Hosea chapter 10, verse 3. For now they shall say, we have no king, because we feared not the Lord. When then shall a king do to us?
That's what they say about Yahushua, man. We don't have a king. We have no king but Caesar. That's what they said. Anyone that voted. That's what they said in the past. We have no king but Caesar.
Right.
We don't have a king. We don't fear because we don't fear the Most High. They don't fear the Most High, and they don't want anybody ruling over them, which is why Negroes supported the Democrats so much, because the Democrats are just openly nasty. It's one thing. Republicans, they're homosexuals as well, sexual deviants, and molest children too. The Democrats are just out and open with it. And that's what black people like. They like openly just disgusting and vile and wicked people and groups and parties and all that, political parties and all that. Now, you should not have voted Democrat or Republican, okay? But our heart is divided, and we shall be found faulty. Okay, that was in verse 2. This next 4 years, you're going to see that you're going to see just what we said about voting. That voting does nothing. Okay, after these two get finished with us. Okay. Drop to verse. As a matter of fact, what verse are you at, Officer Adiar?
I was on verse 3, sir.
Keep reading.
That was the end of verse 3.
Read verse 4.
Verse 4. They have spoken words, swearing falsely in making a covenant.
Right, spoken words, swearing falsely and making a covenant. You voted, you made a covenant. You made an agreement with whatever that president or vice president supported or does not support, which is why you voted. You made a covenant. That these people are not people we should make covenants with. Kamala Harris is a damn jailer, and Joe Biden is one of the chief oppressors in this kingdom. He's probably better at oppression than Donald Trump. Donald Trump is just some hustler from New York City who has sex with married women and has a foreigner, a Ukrainian wife, and he says things about black people that poor Edomites like. But this Joe Biden, he was able to capitalize on his hatred. I mean, Joe Biden locked up. I mean, probably the source of mass incarceration is Joe Biden in the United States, and and he is voted in. Okay, our heart is divided. We'll be found faulty. Read on, Officer Adiar.
Does judgment springeth up as an hemlock in the furrow of the field?
Yeah, judgment springeth up as an hemlock. What is a hemlock? A hemlock, if you see hemlock grow in the field, you know that the field is poison, meaning what? Everything we go up to try and do is going to fail. It's going to be like it's poison, man. This voting for Joe Biden is going to be like hemlock in the field. Okay? We're looking for it to cause us to cause the field to grow. We're looking to be prosperous these next 4 years. We're going to be poisoned okay, and destroyed. Drop that. Go to verse 12 real quick.
Verse 12. Sow to yourself in righteousness.
All right, well, this is what we need to be doing. Sow to ourselves in righteousness, not sow to ourselves ballots. A damn piece of paper that they couldn't even count. They couldn't even count on the ballots. Meanwhile, your kids are taking a damn Scantron exam. They slip it into a machine. You get your grade the next day. They can't count ballots. Okay, you need to sow righteousness. Read on.
Reap in mercy.
See, reap in mercy. Okay, that's what the people of Jane and Finch need to do. They need to reap in mercy. You need to have mercy on another Black, Latino, and Native American. A drive-by shooting is not worth. How much? What are you getting? $100,000. $100,000 isn't going to last you a week if you live in the way that you live, Rolex and Vlone and Balenciaga, what's my other thing? Gucci and all that. The $100,000, you'll run through that in a month. Killing somebody over $100,000 is not worth it. Killing someone, period, is a sin against the Most High, as murder. We need to sow mercy, man. I understand we're poor, starving, to an extent, oppressed, impoverished. Yeah, we are, for sure, in Canada, for sure in Jane and Finch, suffering from traumas and PTSD, etc. But I have some mercy, man. I have some mercy. That's what they need in Jane and Finch. That's what they need in Doomstown, man. That's what they need in Regent Park. That's what they need in Vaughan, Brampton. Mercy. Reap mercy, man. Have mercy on another so-called Negro, Latino, Native American. That 12-year-old boys getting shot and murdered and caught in crossfire does not stop because you voted a damn new prime minister. Does not stop because you elected a new premier. It stops when we have mercy on each other, man, and we sow righteousness. Read on.
Kanarawakan. Break up your fallow ground.
Break up your fallow ground. Stop this nonsense, man. Stop this folly, this fallow ground. Killing and shooting each other for a few hundred measly $1,000s, if that even. Okay? We copied after the slave master. When the Italian mafia went to kill somebody, it was over millions, not $50,000, not $30,000. They were doing it over millions. Okay? Read that part again, Officer Adiyar.
Break up your fallow ground.
Now, we need to break up our fallow ground. We need to stop acting like these other people because we'll never be them. Never going to make money selling drugs in Toronto. It will never happen. We need to stop our foolishness, man, and break up our fallow ground. We need to go to work, okay, for our people, Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. I was going to go into other scriptures. I might go into it next week. I'll keep this list I have written down. Long story short, we have an election. We need to get elected to get out of here. Okay. How do we get elected? It's not by having the best policy. It's not by being the most Democrat or most Republican. It's certainly not by cheating or voter fraud. Our election is obtained by doing what the Most High says and doing the service of Yahweh Shai. With that, I pass the class over to Priest Officer Darash. Clap it up.
All right, these are the ISUPK security announcements. We are the ISUPK, starting at 1 West, 125th Street, Harlem, New York. Rule for new brother and sister. When a new brother or sister comes into the school, they are off limits for 6 months. They are to be saluted only. They are here to shed themselves to the world. If they need transportation, the teacher will arrange it. After 6 months, if a brother or sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to a brother or sister. There is another 6 months in which the brother and sister will court each other. After this 6 months period, the brother and sister will get permission from the head to marry. Tithes, which is a commandment, Numbers 18:21 and Malachi 3, verse 8 to 10, means tenth in the Hebrew, ma'ashera. 10% of every penny of any increase the Lord gives you. Give to Treasury Department or teacher priest fund. Priest fund, free will offering for priest, not mandatory, whatsoever you would like. Upcoming Holy Convocation. The next feast day is Hakanaka. Sir. Hakanaka, Wednesday, December 9th, 2020, for 8 days. First Maccabees, that can be found in First Maccabees, chapter 4, verse 52 to 61. If anyone wants to be a trooper in the school, start wearing all black: boots, shirt, pants, headband, and scarf. With that being said, Akim Imajim. We're gonna start and face the east, which means which means to turn and face the east.
Sar will punya hakwadam, which means turn and face the east. Add that as well, right?
Sir, Khan. So we're gonna do the Lord's Prayer. So, like, is somebody else going to read the English, or do I do?
No, I'll read the English.
You said, okay, Slagi, sir. This is the Lord's Prayer in the Lashwan Kadash. Abinawa.
Abanawa.
Shabbat Shemayam.
Abanawa.
Shemayim.
Kadash.
Shabbat Shema.
Haya.
Kadash.
Shamka.
Haya.
Yahweh.
Shamka.
Malak.
Yahweh.
Sabah.
Waka.
Tzedakah.
Baha.
Haya.
Wataka.
Haya.
Aisha.
Aisha.
Barakazah.
Aisha.
Kawa.
Baratiza.
Haya.
Wa.
Bashamayam.
Aya.
Nasananawa.
Tanlanawa.
Lakam.
Akam.
Oh.
Yawak.
Wa.
Wasalaknawa.
Wasalaknawa. Wawaknawa. Wasalaknawa.
Yanawa.
Wawaknawa.
Wala'a. Tabayanawa.
Tabayanawa.
Banasaywan.
Banasaywan. Abba. Hawashayna. Mayan. Ra.
Kaya.
Kaya.
Amalakwa. Waha Allah.
Bahala.
Waha Tapara. Lai Walamia.
Wataparaf. Ay walamyam.
Aman.
Man.
Read in the English, our Father, which art in heaven,
Which are in heaven.
hallowed be thy name.
Hallowed be thy name.
Thy kingdom come.
Thy kingdom come.
Thy will be done
Thy will be done.
in earth
In earth.
as it is in heaven.
As it is in heaven.
Give us this day
Give us this day
our daily bread,
our daily bread.
and forgive us
Forgive us
our debts
our debts.
as we forgive our debtors,
As we forgive our debtors. As we forgive our debtors.
and lead us not into temptation,
And lead us not
but deliver us
into temptation, but deliver us
from evil. For thine is the
from
kingdom,
evil.
and the
And
power,
thine is the kingdom,
and the
and the power,
and the glory
and the
forever.
glory.
Forever. So be it. So
Forever.
be it. Amen.
So be it. Man.
All right, Israel. We're gonna salute the brothers and the sisters. All right. So, men of Israel, Imajim, which means stand. All right, Imajim Shabbat. Imajim Barak. Yahweh Hashem Yahushua. Yadim Matah. All right, we're gonna give a courtesy salute to the sisters. Men of Israel, Imajim Shabbat. Imajim Barak. Yahweh Shemar Yahushua. Yad Matah, hands down. Class dismissed.
Go on, Akim. Shalom.
Go on, sir. Go on, sir. Shalom. Most High in Christ. You guys are